Hi everybody. Very exciting video today. I am actually on my way to New York to buy he's as expensive as my Australian lungfish. So very rare fish. I figured I might as well go to New York and see it in person before I buy it. But yeah, I am picking up a platinum alligator gar from Monster Aquarium. He will go in, I'm setting up my 500-gallon aquarium this week, and he will go in the 500-gallon for the next 2 to 3 years until he's big enough to join the pit. Eventually, an alligator gar will be big enough to eat the eels, probably. But we've got probably 4 or 5 years before that time, and the eels will be a lot bigger by that time, too. But yeah, a full-grown alligator gar could definitely eat some eels, so plans will change in the future. But yeah, here's the prices. Here's what we're going to see. They have an amazing selection of alligator gar right now. But first stop was the New York Aquarium, where this harbor seal was just awesome. He was super friendly, chasing my fingers. But yeah, this was a lot of fun, just messing with this guy. It was I think it was probably a Wednesday or Thursday we went, so it was pretty much empty. So all the animals were looking for something to do. But yeah, he kept coming right up to us. Super cute little guy. He was doing all kinds of backflips and chasing our fingers all over the place. Another cool fish. I love these. These are needlefish. Last time I actually caught one in New York in the Hudson Bay with my hands. I caught a little baby. But yeah, these are some giant Atlantic needlefish. But yeah, super gar-like. That's why I love them. Just that long, thin snout. Plus, they're super easy to spot around docks and stuff. So they're one I always run into around shore. But yeah, they had this big Atlantic aquarium. They also had a couple really big, nice reef tanks. I was pretty impressed with these. They also have like Heniochus and a ton of angelfish in here, which was super cool to see. Pyramid butterflies. Can't get those anymore with the Hawaii aquarium ban. Emperor angels in their reef tank, super cool. He was really interested in that Blue Ridge coral. But yeah, super amazing to see. Giant square anthias. This South American tank, though, was even cooler to me. And here's some black pacu. And this is why I do not enjoy pacu, because these guys are absolute blimps. Super awesome ripsaw catfish. Those guys are cool. The scutes down the side. A couple big Leopoldii stingrays. The red hooks are super impressive in this tank too. It's a certain locality that gets those yellow spots. But yeah, red hooks I am a big fan of. A couple different Laprinus species in here. Big flagtail Procholotus. Those are always amazing to see with those red fins. There's the banded Laprinus on the left. Another all too common aquarium fish, just because in the wild those specifically target eating fish scales. So it's about a 14-inch fish that you can't really keep with anything else. This tank was amazing. It was like a sunset kind of feeling to it in a shark tube. But this guy right here, I've never seen anything like this. This is a zebra shark, but he is almost completely patternless. He's not a platinum or an albino. He does have a couple black speckling on him, but I've never seen one that's almost solid white like this. So that was amazing to see, and got me even more excited for my platinum alligator gar. Next tank with this giant cylinder. This was really cool. It was built up in the center, so it was like a rock island with a massive, it was the entire room, was a giant cylinder aquarium you could walk around, full of all these cow nose rays they were actually kind of chasing each other, trying to breed and stuff. So just watching the behavior of the cow nose rays was really cool. Then this was this big half moon kind of tank. All kinds of trevally. Big drum in here. Those were pretty cool. I actually just caught some freshwater drum while I was down in western Kentucky catching my spotted gar. So it's always cool to see giant fish. Then they had this little blubber jellyfish tank. These are actually not uncommon in the pet trade. Nobody ever gets them just because nobody really ever does jellyfish tanks, and if they do, they get moon jellies. But I see these on my wholesale list. I guess I just go to public aquariums. I could order these next week if I wanted some. They do need a very specialized tank with the chrysal flow to where they would never hit the sides. Then we walked down to the beach right out of the aquarium and caught a little Asian shore crab at this rock jetty. That's Coney Island over there. This was my second time in New York, so still everything is brand new to me. But yeah, then on to the main event. Here is Monster Aquarium. It is just on this random side street in Flushing, New York, just right beside Queens, I believe. That little blue awning is the coolest pet store I've ever been to. And we are going to see some of it right here. Off to a good start with the arowana poster out front. But yeah, it's a very small, very crowded store, but they have some of the rarest fish in the United States. I mean, some of the rarest fish in the world, really. Little cheap Adonis plecos, cool pencil fish, a lot of little small fish, but also a lot of real monsters. I missed showing the platinum red-tailed catfish right beside the main entrance. But here is why I'm here. Look at this selection of color morph alligator gar. They have gold marbleds, platinums, and then albino gold marbleds. The gold marbleds, that's a newer morph. That just came out, I mean, within the last 2-3 years. I believe it's a man-made mutation where they hit the eggs with like UV light or something to kind of speckle them like that. They seem to hold their color though, but the platinums are a true, it's been bred for generations, a true natural mutation. And I prefer the solid white. I think that'll be a lot cooler one day in the eel pit. I would love to eventually get one of these gold marbleds though as well. If I'm going alligator gar, I might as well collect them all, right? Alligator gar have always been one of my dream fish. It's just, why would I ever buy something that's going to get, at the minimum, 4 or 5 foot? I just never imagined I'd have the space. But with the eel pit, I actually do. So I am so fascinated by these fish. And they look all incredible just floating here. I mean, the platinums almost look like they have a bluish glow to them. The golds are absolutely glowing. They are so pretty. I'm so excited to get this. And his name will be Garlic. Garlic the platinum alligator gar. And I receive him Wednesday. I'll probably post some shorts when he arrives. But yeah, such an amazing fish. Every fish in this tank was crazy. All the big datinoids. There's a gold fire eel down there, a platinum and lacari hiding out. All kinds of parrotfish. Lots of different cichlids too here. I mean, they had everything. Electric eels, mabu puffers, postulatus puffer. I mean, that was probably $20,000 worth of alligator gar in that tank. Then there's a couple more platinums here. Marbled Florida gar. They did sell out of albino Florida gar. I was really hoping to see those too, because that's something I would be able to keep in my 500 gallon for life. So once the alligator gar outgrows the 500, then I'll be probably looking for another big, rare, kind of a little bit smaller fish to grow out. But yeah, here's some of those mabu puffers. Super cute. These are the world's largest freshwater puffer. I believe they're capable of getting 3 foot. Here's some Giardini arowana. These are my favorite of the legal arowanas. If you feed them a lot of krill and shrimp when they're young, they actually get some nice red and pink colors. They also had some store cats I had to pet. I love the black and white one. And then here is actually probably one of the rarest fish in the world right now. Certainly one of the rarest fish in America. This is an albino Polypterus weeksii. So this one, it's like the albino senegalis, but it'll get much larger. He's capable, I believe, of hitting 24 inches. I actually have a regular one. But yeah, super cool to see such a rare fish. $5,000. If it's the only one in the world, it's kind of worth that. They also had this big albino African lungfish. These are both wild-caught fish, so these are wild-caught albinos. These species aren't bred in captivity. But the albino lungfish actually pop up pretty often because the native people in Africa, they actually dig them up for food. And if they dig up an albino, it's worth a whole lot more alive than it is for dinner. So they actually show up pretty frequently, where the weeksii is, I believe, pretty much unheard of. But yeah, so cool to see such a rare fish. And then we went over to the Natural History Museum where I caught a pigeon out front. Had to, couldn't resist. They were so tame. New York pigeons are a lot of fun. Then I don't know what this is, but it was cool. And then there is the New York subway rat munching on a piece of pizza crust. Then on our last day, we went over to Prospect Park. It just happened to be near us. And they actually had a zoo with another really impressive big South American tank. Love this red tail. He's a blimp. That Leopoldi stingray was beautiful. Some Amazon river turtle there. Another big ripsaw. I think a lot of these come from the pet trade, and then they are just donated to the aquarium because that giant silver arowana. I don't know. There does seem to be a endless supply of giant ripsaws in Pacu, so I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of these are just donations. And here are some dwarf mongoose that they had. But yeah, that's all. I will receive garlic Wednesday, and I will be sure to post lots of videos of him.